welcome to my channel. Hope you're having a fantastic day today. For today's video, I'm going to be reviewing a children's book. So this book, I've been waiting for it since last year, and I'm super excited that I got a chance to win the book through a competition where we had to enter our names and follow all the steps on the Police Creatives page so that you could get the book. So this would probably be my first win of the year. But the name of the book is My First Book of Shona and Ndebele Words, written by Yeve Sibanda and illustrated by Ariel Mendes. And this is a book for people of all ages who would like to learn Shona and Ndebele. So Shona and Ndebele, they are two of 16 languages in Zimbabwe, and these are known to be two of the major ones. And I found this to be very helpful for myself because I've been wanting to learn Ndebele for myself. So this is actually something that is going to help me along that journey, and I cannot wait to tell you guys about this book. So let's get into the video. So this book is actually a dedication to a daughter, and I'll tell you more about the author. Actually, I'll read more about the author. I feel it's very important for readers and everyone else to know a bit more about the author so that they understand where they'll be coming from to actually enjoy the work. So this is Yeve's bio. Yeve is wife to her love, Arnold, and mom to her amazing, energetic daughter, Minnie. She's an author, attorney, and public speaker, and a creative at heart. Yeve prides herself on being a recovering type A, designated sleep whisperer to her daughter, sometimes intercontinental travel guru, and a quick-witted problem solver. Yeve is a native Zimbabwean who calls the United States her adopted home. She wrote this book to help keep indigenous African languages such as Shona and Ndebele fun, alive, and interesting. She hopes to empower, educate, and inspire multicultural families to embrace their rich heritage and encourage the children to learn the languages. So it's also about the illustrator. Her name is Ariel Mendes. I really like the illustrations. You know, they're very colorful, and if I were a child, I would definitely reach out for this because of the illustrations before I could actually read it. So Ariel Mendes is an author / illustrator with a passion for children's literature. Ariel loves helping writers make their books a reality. She's a writing instructor and advocate for diversity in children's publishing. Ariel lives in Montgomery County, MD, with a husband, 2 sons, and dogs. So this is the bio for Yeve and also her illustrator, Ariel Mendes. And I really like this book because, like I said before, I'm trying to learn Ndebele. I've been writing a story for the last 2 years. It's been in my archive for the last 2 years. And I remember I went on Twitter and I was asking someone who speaks Ndebele. I was like, can you some of the words I couldn't find on Google. I was like, can you please help me with some words? And she actually did, and I'm very grateful for that because I was able to write a bit more with Ndebele inside. And now that I have a book, I'm super excited. So the start of the book, we meet Rufaro. So Rufaro is actually whose family we're going to be discovering, or she's the one who's going to be talking us through Shona and Ndebele in English. So I'll read more about Rufaro as she's talking to the readers. Dear readers, Salibonani Moroi, hello. My name is Rufaro Moyo. I'm 4 years old. I'm from Zimbabwe. I live with my parents and little brother Jabulo and my baby sister Tandi. My family speaks English, Shona and Ndebele. I hope to teach you a few words in Shona and Ndebele by showing you my daily activities. Come on, let's learn Shona and Ndebele. Uyaiti dzidze chishona nechindebele. Buya sizofunda isishona lesindebele. Sincerely, Rufaro. So it actually gives you what it means, like what she says in Shona. So Rufaro is joy in Shona, and Jabulo is joy in Ndebele, and Tandi is love in Ndebele, and I'm Rudo. Rudo is love in Shona. So that's quite interesting. So let's get into the book. So I'm going to like show you like one of the pages. So this one is to do with the animals, and so there's the word for the animal in English, in Shona, and then in Ndebele. So I'll read some of the animals to you so that you guys can actually have a few and understand where I'm coming from. So number one is monkey, which is Soko in Shona, and Inkau in Ndebele. And then a bird, that's Shiri in Shona, and then in Ndebele is Inyoni. A lion is Shumba in Shona and Isiluane in Ndebele. Elephant is Nzo in Shona, Indlovu in Ndebele. And we have snake. Snake is Unyoka in Shona and Inyoka in Ndebele. So you kind of get a feel of how exactly she writes it down so that you can understand. So she doesn't leave you hanging. She actually writes in English, Shona and Ndebele, and then guys, you can translate it to your young ones and also for yourself. The book is divided into different sections, so we get to learn about body parts, about days of the week, numbers, clothes, animals, greetings, about clothes. So many things. Like Farah said, it's more about her day-to-day activities. And I really liked how Black children are being represented. I always say this, it's very, very important for us to represent Black children, because if they see themselves in books, they will be tempted to read the books. So it's very good to see characters in books which look like you, and it's very essential to start at a very, very tender age, because they get to see themselves in literature, and they might also want to write their own stories, in which they can relate to. So I think it's super important for African authors to actually, those who are writing children's literature, to actually show representation, like color of the skin, because we come in different complexions. It's very important to highlight that in our literature. So I really like this. And also the hair texture, I think is very important. These might seem as minor things, but if I were young and if I were to see a book with a character with the same hair as mine, I would probably have started reading at a very, very early age. Okay, so I think this is very important, and I'm super excited for kids of nowadays, and also for my future kids, for them to be able to have books like this where they are represented, where they see themselves. So the first part is to do with the body. So it talks about the hair, the face, the neck, the hands, the fingers. So these are things which you can talk your child through, or as an adult, something that I can try and memorize, because I already know 2 languages from here. It could be easier for me to actually learn the third one, which is Ndebele. But as a Shona person, I have a very heavy tongue, because I think Shona is quite heavy, because we have the R, which we don't really find in Ndebele. So I'm always tempted to revert to the R, the sound of the R. But Ndebele is very light. It's a very light language. I know there are a lot of clicks in it, but I find it to be very light, and it seems like a very fun language to speak. So I'm definitely going to try it, like I said before, for my stories. And the other thing which I've realized when it comes to children, helping them to learn new languages, I think kids are way, way better and at actually learning languages at a very young age, because they can process it at their own time. They don't get frustrated if they don't understand it. I think it actually takes them a lot of time to actually digest and to understand, and then as time goes on, they'll probably speak in another language to say something else, but as time goes on, they'll actually get to understand. I remember I used to live in a complex building where the mother, she was Brazilian, and the father was, I think it was Pakistani, and they were here in England. So the kids, they had to learn the 3 languages. So the mom, she would talk to them in Portuguese. The dad, I think, would talk to them in Urdu, and then they'll have to, when they were watching YouTube channels, they were watching in English. So it kind of took them a while to start speaking. I think they started properly speaking, having conversations at around 3, but they were twins. So they started talking to each other first before they could actually, converse with adults. But as time went on, if they wanted something, they would either say it in Urdu or they would say it in Portuguese or in English. So I think that was a very good start, because as time goes on, they'll actually be able to understand all 3. So if you're afraid that maybe your child might not understand don't worry about children. They're very resilient. I think they're very smart because they catch on to things very quickly. Because if you look at how kids absorb things, if you say some wrong word, they'll be saying it the whole day. So I think we should also use the same approach when it comes to teaching them about reading, teaching them about different languages. So I know the reasons Yeve started the book was because she wanted her daughter to know more about the 2 different languages and also English, because she lives outside of Zimbabwe and she lives in the diaspora. And I know so many parents, because they're here and sometimes they have very demanding jobs, they're not able to sit down with the kids to teach them, their native languages. For example, I have a cousin who was born here. She's around 50 now, and she does not speak Shona. She understands it, but she does not speak it. So when I'm around her, I try as much as I can to only speak to her in Shona, and it has actually helped her. Like when she goes back home in Zimbabwe for holidays, it actually helps her to communicate, because she can understand, but it's the talking which is actually quite hard for her. So I think it's very important, especially in the diaspora. There are actually some adults who cannot speak their native languages. So if you're that kind of adult and you want to start learning your native language, I would highly recommend this book. By all means, do get it, because I think baby steps are actually more essential than just delving into writing proper sentences. I think if you start with singular words, it's very important. I think it's because they stick more. It's easier for you to remember them. So I think baby steps are very essential when it comes to trying to learn a new language. And I'm sure so many parents, especially from the diaspora, many parents from Zimbabwe or South Africa, because I know Ndebele, they also in South Africa, they also speak Ndebele. So I think it will be very helpful for also some South Africans who would like to teach their children Ndebele, because if I'm not mistaken, I think Ndebele kind of goes hand in hand with Zulu or Xhosa, between the 2. So if you want to introduce your child, or you want to personally learn it, you could start with this, and then you can easily get to learn the other languages. For example, Swahili is the mother language for so many languages in Africa. So some people, when they speak Swahili, they kind of understand the other different languages in Africa. So let's say, for example, if you want to speak Swahili but you don't really have access and you Zimbabwean, Shona, as far as I understand, it has some words which actually are the same in Swahili. So this could be your leeway into that, So I really enjoyed this. I really like it. Saving it for my kids, of course, because I think I'm going to grow my children's library. I know I'm far from it, maybe 10 years from now, but I'm just super grateful that people like Yeve, they worked so that my children and I could run, because it's very important to see representation. Look at this. Honestly, it's very refreshing to see characters which look like you, something which we've been lacking when it comes to African literature. And I'm so grateful that Yeve came up with this idea, and there's so many children's books which are now coming to represent African literature and catering for different issues which have to do with African issues when it comes to children, and that's very great. And I'm pretty sure by the time, maybe by 2025, there will be so many of them. And I'm super excited because now I'm going to start reviewing more of the children's books, because I think that's also a part of African literature we need to talk about, because they are our future young writers and book reviewers, and I think it's very important for them to also see space for themselves in this sector. So that's it for today, you guys. I really like this book, and by all means, if you go to the Pelisa Creatives page, you'll find it. I'll leave the details below so you can order the book. And I'm not sure if it's on Amazon. I don't think it's on Amazon, but I'm pretty sure it's on the page. So by all means, you guys, take some time, check out the book, and of course leave a review, because it's very important for writers when readers actually leave a review, it's actually encouraging, and they'll actually know and understand, you know, what people like, what they don't like, you know. And also I'm hoping, you know, there's going to be like a second book, a third book, where she's like writing about more things, maybe writing sentences or that kind of thing. Because if you look at the back of the book, so at the back of the book there's actually some space, and I think that, you know, you could actually let your kids like write there so that they can learn the language. So there'll be, you can say it and then they can actually write it back, so there's space for that. And also look at the illustrations, you guys. I'm really childlike sometimes, but this is very cool. This is very cool. If I were young, I would have loved to see this. I would have loved, you know, a book where I could see myself, where I could understand. So kudos to you. Yeah, well, honestly, this is amazing. Thank you very much for creating a book in which Zimbabwean children can actually enjoy and learn more, and also adults like me. So thank you so much for watching this video, you guys, and until next week, goodbye.